About 3 months after some university workers embarked on a strike, there doesn't seem to be an end in sight to the face-off between the workers and the federal government. The workers, who are members of the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and the National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT, are displeased by how some monies released to federal universities have been shared.
It is no news that no Nigerian university ranks among the best 1,000 in the world by all the rankings available. The latest ranking of universities globally puts the best university in the country at 1,099th in the world. If the running of schools is one of the yardsticks used, then the country may still have a long time to maintain that backward position with its perpetual close down of schools. The latest by the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, National Association of Academic Technologists, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions.
The money they released about 23 billion. That 23 billion, more than 80% of it was allocated to ASU, that's our sister unions. And they gave other unions, that's the 3 unions that came together, 11%, you see, and that's even the genesis of it.
By that action, the striking workers are alleging that they are being underrated.
They portray it both in letters and in words that the non-teaching are not so relevant within the system. So we all cannot be professors at the same time. We all cannot be academic staff at the same time. We should work synergistically. Somebody should be in charge of carrying files. So somebody should be in charge of conducting experiments for students.
Now offices are shut, the school environment untidy, and the students all lament the implication of this situation on them.
There's no water, there's no electricity, and electricity has a lot of things to do. Many people, you see them leaving the school premises just to do some things, just to study. Unfortunately, this is the exam period.
I would say it has been hectic for me because I do use the library most times to read. But now, so not using the library to read again is affecting me somehow, but I'm just trying to cope.
But then the situation seems to be different in the University of Lagos.
It's not really affecting us because there's light. When NASU is not on strike, they off the lights in the morning around 10. So students have to go for classes. But now that there is light throughout, so not all students will go for class.
The immediate solution the workers have is a roundtable discussion with the federal government.
We are always open to dialogue. We are always ready to listen to them. We are always ready to see to the fact that we have peace in the system.
If the federal government refuses to call us to a meeting, till the end of this year, we continue with the strike because we are fighting a legitimate cause.
The school managers lend their voice to the call for a peaceful resolution.
So we're just appealing to the federal government. Due respect to the Honorable Minister of Education, Honorable Minister of Labour and Productivity, and the leadership of the striking union to please, in the interest of the children, in the interest of our students, in the interest of the future generation, should please reach a kind of an agreement and let them resolve this imbroglio.
While this face-off lasts, students and parents' expectations are that industrial actions in the nation's ivory tower don't completely bring tertiary education to its knees, making the demand for overseas study the preferred option.
The Lagos State House of Assembly has passed 2 bills to enhance the state's economic growth. The 2 bills passed on January the 29th are on land use charge and embedded power supply. One of the bills makes provision for the consolidation of property and land-based charges and end other rates on being collected on land. The second bill, which is on electricity, aims to improve electricity supply, power generation, and distribution, as well as evacuation through an embedded power scheme. It also seeks to enforce consumer rights. Well, joining me on the program now to talk more on these 2 new bills is the Lagos State Commissioner for Information, Mr. Kehinde Bamigbeton. Thank you for joining us on the program.
My pleasure.
Okay, very quickly, could you talk us through these 2 new bills?
If you look at it, it's only one is for review. The second one actually is a brand new law.
That's the
embedded
one on
power project. And it's basically as a result of our experience, we found out that many of our constituents, our residents, are complaining that they are not getting enough electricity, and we've tried to engage the distribution companies. And what we found out is that the distribution companies can only get as much as the generation companies provide. So that means that there is a problem in terms of how much is available for them to distribute. So we now put our heads together. We have a committee that brings together all the stakeholders in the energy industry as far as Lagos State is concerned. And they came up with the idea that we could have what we call the embedded project.
Okay, so let me ask you, this new bill, the one on power, is it going to do you think it would put paid most of the challenges Lagos State is experiencing with power generation?
That's what we are going. What we are going right now is to use gas, is to create a new system whereby we will provide independent source of generating gas, using gas to now power electricity. And we will still collaborate with the distribution company. So it's like giving them extra resources for them to distribute.
Okay, so with what is being done and what is on ground now, how long do you think it will take for every Lagosian to have uninterrupted power supply?
It's going to be a long haul, but we are starting by first and foremost developing the contract around it. We have gone to the National Electricity Regulation Council, and they have given us the mandate that we can go ahead with it. So that's why basically the legal process has taken quite a lot of time to be able to conclude to this point. Now, the next point is sitting down with the GenCos and the telcos and the discos and agreeing on who wants to come into this thing and what is the level of investment.
So it's kind of open for investors.
It's not open for investors. We are opening a new chapter in terms of investment now. We are bringing in more gas so that you can generate power that the discos can now go ahead and use. And for that purpose, it also means that metering will increase. There's going to be expansion of the paying public. And of course, because of the nature and the character of this new kind of power, it may cost a little bit more than the old hydropower that we have been using. So those are the challenges in the system. And that's why we feel that it's so important to protect the investment. And so when we're talking of bringing in what we call the power theft, discouraging people from illegally taking power, that's part of means of ensuring that those who are going to invest in it can have return on that investment.
We will need to go into the law that was reviewed. But before then, in all of this, the new bill on power generation, what's being put in place to ensure that the end user, the consumers are not billed erratically as what has happened in the past?
The provision for consumer interest in it, that's basically why, even in the governance system around it, there's a lot of community involvement, there's a lot of consumer involvement, so that we ensure that what is going to come out at the end of the day will be a fair deal for
and to be favorable. So tell us now, what prompted the need for a review of the land use
Basically, there have been calls for transparency. There have been calls that the land use charge is not it's not clear to many people. Now, what we are doing this time is to ensure that this new law reviews the process of determining the rates. Before there had been what we call that input system. Now we are going to use what we call the market value system. Estate valuers are right now going around. They are now identifying properties. They are assessing properties, and they are going to be valuing properties. And they are going to be using market value, which is the value at which that property can be sold in the market at any point in time. And it has also what we call relief rates, so that it can temper what is going to be the outcome at the end of the day. But the key thing for us is that this one allows you to even do self-assessment of the property so that you can actually engage the bidding system. Before, it has been very, very difficult for people to come up with their own alternative estimation of their property. But because this one is going to be much more transparent, you can be able to assess, and therefore you can be able to insist that.
So at the end of the day, everybody's happy. It works well for government, and the owner of the property also gets a good deal at the end of the day.
That's where we are going.
All right, thank you very much, Lagos State Commissioner for Information, Mr. Kehinde Bamigbeton.